So I realized that this stuff does start to dry, and that I have to do it with you either way. So here we go. We've done one ball already, and I dipped my hand 4 times in that one, and then this is a double dip. So 6 dips, and we're gonna make a poppet to encourage a miscarriage. Early term. So there you go. And one thing that I forgot to tell you guys in the last poppet videos is, so we've got a big old ball here, about twice the size of the other one, if not more. One thing I forgot to tell you guys is that for workings like this, you are going to need to work with speed. And what I mean when I say speed is either adding some, because it's a pregnancy, right? And you know, things have to happen quickly. So what I'm trying to say is to speed this up so it's a working that works quickly. There's 2 things that I use to speed up a working, and one of them is bullet shells that were used by my father in target practice, and because a bullet is fast, it's speed. Another thing I use is espresso or coffee, espresso beans or coffee grounds, anything like that. Now, this one's tricky because it's going to be mostly belly. So I'm just starting it like that, kind of almost like a starfish, y'all, because it's mostly belly. And so we're going to start by getting the nut inside. We need something to represent that baby. And so we're going to use Scotty's infertility. The only thing he's got under infertility is walnut. Okay, so we're going to put a whole walnut into that belly. Now around the walnut, we're going to put things that would make this an inhospitable living environment for a growing baby. Okay. And we got to work quickly. So we got the walnut. I'm going to put 3 aborted apples. The triangle is a symbol of strength. That's why I'm using 3. Okay. So 3 little aborted apples that happen naturally on the tree. Like a little miscarried apple. Okay, and then next we're going to use some espresso grounds because we need... My hands are all soft and slippery from the paraffin. Come on, espresso. Clean sweater. Okay, so we can't get the espresso open. I guess it wasn't meant to be. So we're going to use a bullet shell. And this will speed up the working. Espresso would have been better, but I can't get it out. Also, we're going to put in some of this corpse flower. Okay, this is the corpse flower or the voodoo lily. And I think the reason why we're using it is obvious. So I don't really want to say it again. This is a tender subject for me. I've suffered through many miscarriages. And I know that people need this working. So that's why I'm doing it, okay? So now we're going to add in a poison. We're going to use foxglove. I would use gloves if I was you. So we're just surrounding that walnut by all this inhospitable environment. You could also use a nutmeg. You could use, you know, get creative. You could use a bean. You could use a lot of things. We're going to use columbine because the word columbine is good for, I think, love and lust, but the word columbine reminds me of the disaster that happened, and so I use it for destruction. Okay, so far it's kind of looking like this. And we're going to be taking all the wax up over it to make it a pregnant belly, okay? So columbine's in there. Magnolia storm leaf. These leaves that I blended up, They went through a storm, and that's got a lot of destructive energy in it. So sprinkle that all around what's going on, all over the walnut, all over the top of the walnut. Pennyroyal and aborificant from way back. If you don't have pennyroyal, you could use Roman chamomile. An aborificant from way back. So we're really focusing on putting that on top of the walnut and just kind of letting it come down. As you're doing this working, spend your time with each of these ingredients. If you're the one who's pregnant, spend a lot of time visualizing what you need out of each of these things. This working, if you were pregnant and you were doing it for yourself, I would want, if it was me, I would want to spend 3 or 4 hours on making this and putting that intention in, because it's important. And so we've got all sizes of bullet shells, but I'm just going to use kind of one of the smaller ones. I'm going to put that in at the end to speed up the working. Also, you don't have valerian root in the head. This is going to be, if you need sedatives in a working, this is going to be the working where you need the most sedatives, because when a woman loses a pregnancy, whether she wanted it or not, it's a very, very, like, emotional, traumatic time, usually. Okay, I can't speak for everybody, but usually. Even if you didn't want the pregnancy, it's still very, very emotional. So, you know, clary sage in the head, valerian in the head, lavender in the head, any kind of like sedative in that head area. You can put in, this one, we can't really put in those lavender bones. If you wanted to, you could just put some in on the arms and stuff, but I'm not going to do it here because we're putting so much sedatives in the head. It'll be all right. Okay, so protection. We always need protection, and we're going to use a 5-pointed star off of this tomato vine. Where are my scissors? Oh, come on. Okay, maybe we're not using that. Maybe we're using a witch's burr. Yeah. So you don't have to use the whole entire thing, but here's a witch burr. And you can crush that up and use it as a powder. You can just kind of sprinkle it in and over, which is what I'm going to do. Protection all over that pregnant belly, because listen, I think that, you know, the soul kind of just gets recycled. If you miscarry, it, you know, just wasn't meant to be at that time and place. So now we're left with this. I'll just use this for when I grind them up into powders. But yeah, whole ones, they're really cool. Very good for protection and defensive magic. I have so many of these if you guys need to buy them. So I think we've got everything in there except for some heat. We want it to be hot and uncomfortable, so I'm going to put those burned bay leaves, or a little chili. Hot and uncomfortable. Burned bay leaves. Maybe a little chili if I had it. Maybe some black peppercorns. There we go. And finally the bullet to speed this whole thing up, okay? So, now we're going to try and make this into a poppet. Mold it on up. Alright. Just kind of tuck and pull, tuck and pull. Tuck and pull. And you could reform the arms later, like if, for instance, you get the belly covered, but now you have no arms or no legs. It's fine. Just get more wax. You can do it up. Main thing is you get all these things tucked inside the wax and covered, so it's all happening with no opening. Okay. steal from Peter to give to Paul. There's your legs. There's your big old belly. And we'll tuck those herbs in the head to sedate that. Totally looks like a pregnant lady. Okay. There we go. So here we are. Here's our pregnant lady poppet. We need to put some eyes on there. I'm going to use black peppercorns for eyes on this one. You could also, remember, you could use potato eyes, or you could use buttons for eyes, or you could, draw them on. Get creative. It's okay. We are going to put some rose in the heart. And the reason why we're going to put rose in the heart is because we're not trying to ask for a miscarriage from nature in a cruel way. We're not trying to do that. We're just trying to do this in love for the best outcome of the child. If you don't have the means and you just feel in your heart, I don't have the means to take care of this child, we could put a little bit of that goat hair so that they join a happy place with my goat Maggie. And if you forget something, you can just kind of tuck it in the back or something. So we're doing this all in like love and light, but it is love and lightning. That's the thing. We're doing this working in love and light, but the world is love and lightning, and that's what I'm always telling you guys about. But I do believe that if you focus on something enough, especially like if you're a woman who gets pregnant, and if you focus on something enough, that you really can, you are in charge of your body, and your mind in particular is in charge of your body. So, yeah, that's what I've got for you. Did we forget anything? I mean, you could put a little smile on its face. You could have put some ovaries in there with soybeans. I don't know, but I think that this one's all right. And I think oh, the love in the heart. We need to put the rose petal. That's what I was going to do. We're just going to push a little rose petal into the heart area because, like I said, this is done in love. Or you could even just, I like this better actually, press it in so it's just kind of, press petals all over that belly so you're covering it in love. And think, if this is you who's doing this for yourself, think, I'm so sorry that this didn't work out. And think of passing that soul on just to a better place, to a better area. And I'm using 3 petals, again, that triangle, that strength. Beautiful poppet, you guys. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Gorgeous. Okay. And you could bury that. I would leave it on my altar for a couple of weeks, at least through a full moon. And, or a new moon. There we go. It's love and lightning, you guys. I care about you very much. And if you need help, let me know.